Now let's paint the buildings. The original buildings were a yellow colour, but because we're using two colours, red and blue, I've decided to use red for these buildings, which is quite dramatic. Now let's make a lovely wet mix. So I'm really building this mix up because I'm going to have to cover quite a lot of paper, and it's probably a good idea to think about where I'm going to begin and where I'm going to finish. So in some ways I want to begin here, so I think I'll begin over here and come this way, because I don't want to be going into what I've already painted. So what I'm doing is I'm moving around here a little so that it's easier for me to paint like this than like this. And first of all, just check what that's like. That's very nice. I might make this mix slightly stronger. Now, once I painted an area, I don't really want to go back over that area. Oh, went a bit into the blue there. Because, oh, here we go, showing off now. Trying to do left-handed. This might not work. So I'm being very careful with this edge here, but at the same time, don't want to take too long because this paint is constantly drying, and I have to remember that. And if you go over slightly, doesn't really matter. But we need to keep the speed up. Oh, I think we're safe. I might wipe out a little bit there. It's only a small thing, but... And I might make the mix even stronger. Why not? Wow. See what happens. Okay, so that's that bit done. Leaving that to dry, but still continue. So I'm not going to go back into that. That'd be a very bad idea. So in the distance, that's not going to be so bright. Now you might want to leave some white where these figures are. To be honest, I don't really want to do that. I might leave one of them white, this one. But once again, very important point. I think I've started painting the path there. Is not to belabor it. So you don't want to be spending a really long time doing little details whilst the paint is drying. You've really got to be painting quick. At first that might be quite stressful, but it will get easier as you get better at using your brush. Can you see the way I start here and then move outwards? So I'm just painting over nearly everything, and if you add water, it gives you a lot more time. It doesn't dry out quite so quickly. So if you add some water, that can help. But here it's dried a lot, so I'm going to spray it. So important point: don't spray at it. Spray above. Sorry about that. Spray above, and it might even give you some texture if you're really lucky. So I'm going to maybe leave him white top. and I might leave the top of her hat white. But I have to be careful here because taking a long time. Don't want to take too long. And I'm thinking of this. This is drying out, so I don't want that to happen. I went a little over there. So let's wipe that out a little. Okay. And that's seriously drying out here. So once again, spray time. And keeping this edge wet so it's not drying out too quickly. Okay. Okay, we're getting there. So I'm going to leave his top white too and remove that. Now I'd really like to get a bit more texture in these buildings, so I'm going to do a bit of a thicker mix just here and here, just for a tiny bit of variety, because it just looked a bit boring and I didn't want that. So you can see in some places the red is more intense and in other places it's lighter. Don't worry about this if this happens to you. I guess I could quickly paint that, and I might after I've wet it, but we're also going to do this in shadow. So when we paint over it with a shadow mix, it's actually going to hide this line here. But anyway, let's cheat. Let's do this. Whoa. But just get the tissue and wipe it out. Have to be careful tissue doesn't get dirty. And there we go. Yeah. It's a beautiful colour, isn't it? Oh, don't want that there. And that's for the hat. Not sure I really like that, but that's okay. Not such a big deal. Okay, let's spray. I think it's a bit too small. And I've got a pool of water here collecting. So again, get the tissue and just wipe gently down here. And then obviously we don't want that, so we can just brush again. And there we go. Let's leave that to dry. Now what I might do is when it's very close to drying, I might just spray it again. That will be the best chance to get some texture when it's almost dry. But you don't want to overdo it. So I'm just letting you know what I might be doing after I switch off the camera, because it might look slightly different. Hopefully I'm going to get a bit more of a speckled effect. We'll see.